Welcome back to another episode from the Debate Room podcast. This is episode 83. Before we even get started, I want to appreciate and thank everyone that's been subscribing to the channel. If this is your first episode watching us, first of all, like the video, share the video, leave a comment on what we talk about today, and follow us on our social media platforms. Up at the top of the screen, our social media platforms need some love, bro. They don't get as much love as our YouTube right now. Right now, we are like 741 subscribers. We're on the road to 1,000. I said I wanted it in like what did I say, like May? We might hit it. We might hit it like in April.
I thought we said end of the year.
Well, I
End
thought
of the
we
year is
were
crazy.
trying to
End of the year is crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
I thought we were trying to be humble.
No. I was never under that mindset. If it took us 2 years to hit like 1,000, bro, I would have been like, that's when I get the feeling like, yeah, this is not going nowhere. This is the growth I really needed because as content creators, which is what we are, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of get discouraging when you put so much hard work into something and then it's not received as well. So the fact that it's being more received now is really encouraging. And I'm checking it. I check it, bro. I literally check it like every hour, bro. Like I check our subscriber count, comments, likes, all that. Even when we get big, bro, I'm never gonna stop doing that. Like I'm not gonna be like, we're not gonna be no Hollywood podcast. I can't wait till we get a Discord. Like that's gonna be so crazy. When you create a Discord, like that's gonna, I don't know. I just can't wait till we have a community, bro.
It is. Shout out. The growth is definitely due to the TikToks, the Instagrams. All the love being over there. Seeing those actually getting views is like rewarding. It's nice.
So yeah, but if you are, it's your first episode, go back and watch some older episodes after this one, and follow us on our social media platforms for updates and all that stuff. But today, it's going to be a NFL and NBA episode, a little bit mix of both. The NFL has died now all the way up into the draft. The draft is in a few weeks, so we might do some
OTA
more
started
NFL
today.
stuff. OTA started today.
A couple of OTAs.
Okay,
not nothing too crazy.
We might be doing some more NFL content later down the line before the draft, but during the draft season, we're gonna really hit it hard. Pause.
For sure.
But let's start off. The first topic we have.
You didn't say it. Perfect opportunity to say it. Didn't say it.
I'm trying to. I don't know how like politically correct saying that is. Saying the other thing is. So.
I was gonna say it's perfect.
You never know who watching.
Perfect opportunity.
You never know who watching, man. You never know who watching. All right, so as long as he ain't watching, I feel safe. All right, but anyways, first topic is the NFL tier list post free agency. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Let me get it real quick. So we have 5 tiers, and hopefully that should be enough. So sometimes we have to add more tiers, but
no, that should be standard. Because there's a lot of teams that have hope this year. So
I
feel like they should be higher than what they actually are.
Teams are going to be like, there's a weird spot where it's like you're mid, but you also have potential. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these teams are like mid or have the opportunity to be mid.
Where that mediocre tier, there's going to be some teams in there that probably we don't think like either like they just got a quarterback or like they just got a new regime. So like we think they're going to be good, but they're still technically mediocre. Like there might be teams in there that might shake things up.
Yeah, there will be a playoff team in mediocre. I'm going to assume there will be at least one playoff team in mediocre that we put.
I kind of want to change the names. Like for some teams, they're like young and upcoming or something like that. Instead of just calling it mediocre.
Like, say future, like future promise or like something like that. But I think mediocre is fine for right now. When you look at like the landscape of the league, you know what I mean? Like the Bears, I think would be in that tier. They're like mediocre, you know what I'm saying?
But the Bears could damn near make the playoffs, bro.
But when you look at the landscape of the league,
the Bears can make the playoffs, but they also can't. The Bears can win 10 games and not be a playoff team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like they'd technically be mediocre.
So you could just add like
one more
promising future or something, or promising mid. I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine.
Young and upcoming. All right. Let's put these NFL teams in a tier list. And yes, that was for TikTok, Max, before you even say anything. Because I want to see if we can make a TikTok.
I get it. It's not hate, but you can't say you say stuff for TikToks when you literally phrase all your senses to go around TikToks.
I think because we haven't did like a tier list for TikTok yet, so I want to see if I'm gonna be able to create one just with the editing part. I want to see if I'm gonna be able to do it.
I think first easiest one, the Chiefs are still Super Bowl favorites. The Chiefs should be back in that conversation.
They actually aren't. They actually aren't favorites technically by Vegas, which is crazy. But that's just because
I think, in my personal opinion, I think they are still.
No, they should be the favorites. They should be the favorites.
Who else personally
feel like they should. I think they should be in. I think they should be in a tier of their own. I personally feel like that. That's what I feel like.
No, I don't think they're going to do that. But
based off the history of the NFL, there's never been a three-peat. You know what I'm saying? So, like, based on the thing, what we know with history, we just can't, like, the Chiefs should have them as favorites, but they also got to be like another team in there because just for, like, you know, nobody does it 3 in a row. So, like, just for that sake of that thing, I feel like we should have somebody else in that same tier. I don't feel comfortable making it to Niners.
They got
the 49ers took a step back. The 49ers took a step back this offseason. The 49ers took a step back this offseason. To me, personally. I personally never subscribed to them being, you know, viable to win the Super Bowl. I understand that they got there. And I understand they touched 2 NFC championship games, 3 in the past 4. I just personally don't think they were ever going to be Super Bowl, you know, contenders. So I'm perfectly fine if we just have them in the contender tier.
Are we doing two AFCs or are we doing NFC and AFC?
I think the AFC.
If you feel like the AFC got more than one,
the teams that are in this conversation, I think that like the only teams I'd look at is San Fran, Baltimore, Buffalo, Philly, and maybe Detroit. Those are the teams I'm looking at right now. If I'm having to pick the top 5 teams, those are the 5 teams I think I'm looking at. So I think one of those 5 teams, I think Detroit is not as much there, but I think you're looking at the Ravens, you're looking at the Eagles, you're looking at the Bills if you don't want San Fran. Unless I'm forgetting about some team.
I don't think
favorite? No.
I don't think the Bills are contenders.
So you guys think the Chiefs?
I don't think so either. Yeah, I think the Chiefs are in a tier of their own. Me personally, that's what I feel like.
You put the Eagles up
there? We could no. Hell no. We could leave the Chiefs right there alone.
You got to pick a team. I think the Bills.
Why do we need a team? Why do we need a team?
I thought Q said that they should have someone else up there.
I said based off historical context, there's never been a three-peat Super Bowl champion, and you know, based off Vegas odds, and like it's not like I'm not saying we should go based off Vegas, but Vegas doesn't have the Chiefs as favorites for that specific reason that no football team wins 3 in a row because the grueling, you know, the schedule, back-to-back, all that, you know, everything goes baked into it. And they just have the Niners there because I guess they on that Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy juice, whatever it is. So they just have them as slight favorites ahead of the Chiefs. But for all intents and purposes, the Chiefs is the best team in the league by far, regardless of whatever you think about what they got going on with their roster. So we can leave the Chiefs right there if we want to.
I think the Bills and the Eagles, I think, should both be up here, in my opinion. And I think the one team we forget about.
I don't think so.
I think, in my opinion, I still have the Bengals up here. A healthy Bengals.
Explain your Eagles. Explain the Eagles thing because the Eagles
looking at the landscape.
Go ahead.
Looking at the landscape of the NFC, I'm looking at the teams that you will potentially have to play. Correct? They beat Detroit last year, I believe. They split with Dallas last year, I think. They got Saquon. You lose part of the O-line, but you're trying to beef up the secondary again with getting C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You lost Reddick, but you picked up some more pieces in the linebacker room. In the AFC, I wouldn't say that. But since they're in the NFC, I think your path to a Super Bowl is easier. So I think that you could throw them up there because –
and he froze.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the Lions are a better team than the Eagles. I don't think the Eagles should be in the contender tier as of right now. We have to wait till they see what they do after the draft. They still don't have it. Their defense is still terrible. If we being serious,
exactly.
Their defense is still terrible.
That's what I was about to go into. He said a lot of got linebacker help. They didn't really get better at linebacker. They didn't get better at edge rusher. They literally stayed the same at edge rusher. They didn't get better in the secondary. They added C.J. Gardner-Johnson, somebody that they had when they still had a bad secondary, so their secondary didn't get better. They added Saquon.
Am I good? Am I good?
You're good. Adding Saquon didn't make their offense, didn't make them a better team because they didn't need a great running back. They were still fine. You know, they had 2 Pro Bowlers in a year behind that offensive line. Saquon doesn't really do too much for the offense. Like offense wasn't the issue. They can't stop anybody. They put up 30 points because they could put up 30 points, but their issues are still their issues. They got beat by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they got thrown on all over the field. That's still going to happen. They didn't get better anywhere. They marginally improved in areas that they didn't need to really improve at. So they didn't make no big adjustments. They didn't do nothing big. They just paid more money for things that they already had. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
I guess,
they stayed stagnant.
I'm still looking at the NFC, and I still probably have them too. Like I know you like the Cowboys. I don't think in a playoff game I'll take Philly, Detroit maybe. Like I still have them up there, and since they're the number 2 team in their conference, in my opinion, I think I put them up higher.
If Dallas, if Philly fake goes to Dallas, has to go to Dallas in a playoff game, I'm taking Dallas. Like I'm not taking Philly to beat Dallas. That's just, we know that's just not going to happen. Dallas has beaten Philly more times than Philly has beaten Dallas. That's just the factuals, especially if it's in Dallas. They've got Dak Prescott's going to throw all over them. He never not played good against Philly, regardless of what you think about him in the playoffs. That just never happened.
Yeah, Dak in the playoffs is the big thing. Dak has just not been able to win games.
Dak against Philly,
what? How many?
But Dak against Philly is not bad. That's just not going to happen. You never seen him. Philly didn't improve at all.
I'm like not like. I know we talked about this beforehand, Latif. Like the whole clicks thing, like I'm being so serious. Like,
it's not about clicks. It's not about clicks, but like
it's past bias.
The Eagles are not better than the Lions. How are the Eagles better than the Lions?
That's fine. That's fine. I said that's the only other team I put up there. That's the only other team I put up there, and that's just
the Eagles aren't contenders.
The Eagles aren't better than the Eagles weren't better than the Lions last year. The Eagles weren't better than the Cowboys last year. The Eagles weren't better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year. If we're being serious, like they didn't improve like them. Those teams actually got better. Aside from the Cowboys,
I like the running back move. Yeah, the Cowboys didn't do anything. I like the running back addition of Saquon. I think Saquon's a better player than DeAndre Swift. Call me crazy.
That wasn't the issue. The offense wasn't the issue.
Huh? Yeah, it's defense.
The offense wasn't the issue.
There are still secondary. There are still guys in the secondary out to sign. They could still go out and get somebody still in free agency.
We can't. No.
We need to wait and see what they do with the draft as well.
We're doing this on what is right now, not what they can do or the draft. We're doing this on what they are right now.
They have first-round picks. I think they are good in other spots except for the secondary. You address that in the draft. If that's your only need in the draft, and you move.
But we cannot assume that we're doing what they have right now on their roster. We're not doing what they get in the draft.
So then we can't assume that the Bears get Caleb Williams.
Let's have some common sense. Let's have some common sense. Let's have some common sense.
But that means we can't assume the Vikings. The Vikings are not young and upcoming yet because they don't have a quarterback. Even though we all think they're going to get one.
Who said we were putting them there though?
As of right now, the Eagles on defense are good at one thing: rushing the passer. They can't even stop the run. They could just rush the passer. Everything else did not get better. At linebacker, they did not get better. At secondary, they did not get better. So the whole there, literally 95% of their issues did not get solved. Then they paid for a running back that is cool. He's a great player. They were fine without him. They had way lesser running backs produce, Pro Bowl level seasons. They don't need a shiny running back. That's not what they should have did.
I can't assume the teams on this list are going to make picks or moves the rest of the offseason that are going to help out their team. That they're going to draft at positions in need.
That we just can't do that, and we don't know how those plays are going to turn out. Like we know the Bears are getting Caleb Williams. Like let's be serious, they traded Justin Fields. Why would they not be getting Caleb Williams?
The Chiefs brought back the same roster. And they're literally the Super Bowl favorites.
I'm kidding. They don't have the holes to do. I don't think we know that the Ravens do not have many holes, and all they get is Derrick Henry. San Fran did not do much. Yeah,
they lost one player.
I'm talking about more of the teams of mediocrity. I'm talking about more of the teams of mediocrity and where I find them. But if we're not putting the Eagles in, fine. I will stand, though I think the Bengals with Joe Burrow and with the additions they made, I guess T. Higgins, but currently T. Higgins is on the team. So with T. Higgins and Jamar, I would put them in high playoff team or contenders.
They are contenders.
Yeah. What additions did they make?
Secondary.
They brought back Von Bell.
No, what's dude's name? What's dude's name from Baltimore?
Uzier? Or are you talking Geno Stone?
Yep.
Geno Stone.
You make Geno Stone. You have
Their
some
defense has
cap
always
space.
been solid. Their defense has always been solid. It's the offensive line issues that they have.
The O-line.
And Joe
do?
Bell's health. So
Who they?
you know,
Did they not just
they
make
got
an addition to the offensive line?
I'm pretty sure they're still going.
They picked up Trent Brown, but Trent Brown is also old.
Yeah, so I mean, no, that doesn't
They
move
still
me.
have Orlando Brown, who's not good, and they have nobody in the middle.
Okay, so I guess I'm crazy for having them as a good team.
Well, no, I'm saying they're not a contender. They're not a contender.
They could be a good team, but they don't have to be a contender.
Yeah,
so
they're not.
This is all the contenders you guys have.
Yes, that's me.
There's not a deep pool of contenders in the NFL.
I just don't think the Bengals, maybe even the Bills, the Eagles are on the same level as other playoff teams. I think they are far and above better than other playoff teams.
That doesn't.
Who?
That doesn't.
Huh?
Who?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's far and above better than any? The Eagles aren't far and above better than any of those teams up there. Like not even close.
No, I'm saying if we put the Bills, the Eagles, and the Bengals in playoff teams, right? I think they are far and above better than the. I mean, I guess the Cowboys are kind of up there, but against the Rams, the Seahawks,
they're not. The Seahawks are not a playoff.
The Seahawks are not a playoff team.
The Seahawks are not a playoff. The Seahawks are not a playoff team.
I'm going from teams left from who made the playoffs last year.
The Seahawks didn't make the playoffs.
They didn't make it. They didn't make it. That was 2 years ago. Yeah, no, I think that they're like again. Don't make another.
They're not far ahead. They're not far ahead. They're not. I promise you.
I think they're better.
The Bills have not, as of right now, have got worse personally. They still in like a readjustment period. Like we shouldn't be counting the Bills. The Bills are not better, like far and above better than the Browns.
The Bills are a playoff team. The Bills are a playoff team based off one thing and one thing only.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what I value.
I'm the Bills. I'm the Bills guy. I want to put them.
They're not contender.
They're not contender. They're not contender. Because I value the quarterback position so much more.
The Bengals
you're the number one person who talks about the biggest thing in the NFL is a quarterback and not a team. And now you're demoting 2 top 5 quarterbacks.
That don't mean it's a look.
We have the Ravens in contenders, correct? 9 times out of 10, and I know this for a fact. Healthy Lamar wins the division. So now, just based off that, we have a contender. He's most likely the Ravens. If Lamar's fully healthy, they're winning the division. So that makes the Bengals no better than a 5th seed.
Fact or fiction, though, they win the division if they're in 2 of the other 4 divisions or 3 divisions.
I don't know. I don't know that. They can win 10 games and be a 6th seed. That happened this year. Miami won 11 games was a 6th seed or a 5th seed.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I just feel like saying
they're gonna lose first round.
I feel like saying like a team like the Bills or the Bengals being far above the Rams is just completely false. Like,
it's not true.
Yeah.
And there's a coaching gap. Even if it was a roster gap, there's a coaching gap between Sean McVay and Zach Taylor, which is his protege, or Sean McVay and Sean McDermott. But you've got to put the Rams at the same level.
Sean McVay is the top 2 coach in the league. That's like I get it. That like. I mean, what are we comparing them to?
All right,
if you pick up any other playoff teams, go to your playoff teams. Go to your playoff teams.
My playoff teams:
Eagles,
Bills, Rams. I think the Browns will again be a playoff team. The Texans will be a playoff team.
Are we not putting the Bengals in here?
Yes, we're gonna put the Bengals in the playoff teams. We're gonna put
Cowboys.
Cowboys in the playoff teams.
Now wait, hold on.
The Falcons.
Remember, there's only 7. It can only be 7.
I'm not putting the Falcons up there immediately. I get
the Falcons win the division.
It's availability. Yep. Yeah. Never mind. Sorry, I'm thinking someone else in there.
Let me see. Cowboys, Rams, Eagles, Detroit, San Fran. We got Bengals, Houston, Cleveland, Bills,
5, 6.
Ravens.
You got 7.
That's it for the NFC. I mean for the AFC.
Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I'm not counting.
Nope, 7.
Chiefs,
Jags.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, one more.
Jags.
Yeah.
Colts.
Jets.
And it's whoever.
Jets.
It's who. I'm not doing that. It's
I'm not
whoever
gonna
comes.
Who is it? Jags, Jets. I think you still put. I get the Jags stink. I think you still put it in the
Jags,
conversation.
Jets, or Miami.
Am I crazy?
I'm Jets. I'm saying Jets. I'm not gonna lie. I'm saying Jets. I'm sorry. I'm saying Jets. I personally feel
I have no reason to believe that the Jets are going to be a playoff team.
And
I
would
know.
rather.
I know
Who
for a
are
fact
you
outside
thinking,
of division, Miami can win 10 games. I know for a fact Miami can win 10
I'm
games.
taking the
I
Jets
think
over
Miami got
Miami.
worse.
I'm taking the Jets
I
over
think the
Miami.
Dolphins got worse
I
by a
don't know.
lot.
I'm telling.
I think the Dolphins got
Don't
worse.
And if
you don't have to put them in there. Sneaky team though is the Colts. You can come back to this. Sneaky team is the Colts. I think with a full season of AR, I think obviously Gardner Minshew almost got them to the playoffs. I think the Colts are a sneaky team to be up there.
The main concern with the Jets right now is health, but as far as like roster wise, they are a playoff team. I feel like.
We have 5.
I don't agree.
You could put the Packers up there as playoff teams.
Oh, they are, yes.
Um,
I don't feel good calling like the.
I don't like calling the Dolphins a guaranteed playoff team either.
No, I'm talking about
Don't have
mediocre.
to.
I don't like calling them mediocre. Like, what is it?
Why not?
Just put
You
Matt.
think
I think the Dolphins are mediocre. Their defense got significantly worse. You said it yourself.
they also have holes in the offensive line too.
Yes, their big thing is their pass
If Dolphins
game.
not a playoff team, then the Jets are not a playoff team. Take the Jets down and put them right there with the Dolphins.
I don't agree with that.
But I don't agree with the Jets being a playoff team. Like we have no evidence to believe that.
I'm with Latif. I would put the Jets in that final spot.
Based off what evidence? We don't have no evidence of them being a playoff team. They signed an old injury-prone left tackle, injury-prone wide receiver. Like they didn't do much. They let go a younger pass rusher who was better to get an older pass rusher. They didn't do anything.
Hassan Reddick is a good pass. Hassan Reddick is a great pass rusher. Tyron Smith, obviously injury concerns. Mike Williams.
Let me finish. Like I said, they let go the younger pass rusher who was better in his snaps than to get the older one. Bryce Huff in his snaps was way better than Hassan Reddick in his snaps this year on that same D line. That's not debatable. It's nothing to shake your head about. That's just actual facts. They wasted time.
He was playing with Matt Patricia's defense. I don't know.
But why are the Dolphins still better?
Talking about Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, so what does that mean?
I think they got way worse because of not only
Hassan Reddick didn't get way worse.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the defense as a whole.
The defensive line didn't. There was no
over the last few weeks of the season they got terrible.
The defensive line still produced. Everything else did not. Like nothing on the D line changed. They still did their thing.
When it mattered, though, they didn't.
Because everything else, Hassan Reddick didn't get worse. He was perfectly fine. Bryce was just that good. It had nothing to do with you bringing up the D coordinator. Meant nothing towards Hassan Reddick. He didn't get worse. He played well. Bryce Huff just played just as well. That's the point. Hassan
Reddick. No, I'm saying Hassan Reddick played bad, or not bad, but like worse than what he was doing in the beginning of the season to end the season. And that
he was pretty standard. He got a lot of pressure.
Look at the stats.
A lot of pressures. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Bryce Huff was just as good in like less than half the snaps. Is my point. The Jets let go a better younger prospect.
Better younger prospect. I don't think he's better right now than Hassan Reddick.
Based off production in half the snaps, Bryce Huff was better. That's undeniable. Like,
but you're not better. You're not better though, off just based on one season though, like at all.
Sure, but if you're gonna take a bet, you're gonna bet on the 25-year-old getting better than when you're matching about the same production and half the stats at 25 than the dude that's 30. So yes, you made a lateral move for no reason. The Jets didn't do anything that told you, oh my gosh, this is a playoff team. All they did was get older. And you got a quarterback that's a year removed from an injury and 2 years removed from playing football. In any other scenario, we're not trusting that team. So there's no reason to trust that team now. That just don't make no sense.
And again, if Aaron Rodgers is 70% of himself, they're going to be a playoff team because they are that great of a defense to where if you get 70% of Aaron Rodgers, they're going to be a playoff team. Like we've seen them play with arguably the worst quarterback play in the entire league for 2 years now. And what did they win? 7 games 2 years ago. And that
does not automatically mean they're going to win 10 games now because they got a good quarterback play. That does not mean that. That's not linear. It doesn't work like that.
I think if they do get good quarterback play with that great of defense, they will be winning games this year.
We got to see the
Because
good
of-
quarterback play. We don't have no evidence of good quarterback
This
play
is a
for the
prediction.
Jets.
This is a prediction. Unless you just think Aaron Rodgers is going to be one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL next year. If he's hovering
What
around
I'm
top
saying
15,
is we have evidence of all these other things based off prior things. We don't have no prior evidence to make us think, oh, the Jets are going to be a playoff team now. We know
what
for a fact
evidence? What evidence do we have? What evidence do we have of? No, what evidence do we have of when a team get worse, Tua just plays well, or if the offensive line gets worse, he's going to play well, or like if the defense gets worse, he's going to play well. What evidence do we have of that? Because the Dolphins dead ass got worse. So
Tua's line has never been good. Tua's defense also has never been good. They've also won 10 plus games the last 2 years. That's the evidence that we have. We don't have no evidence of the Jets doing that at all. We've seen Tua with a bad O-line because it's been bad. We've seen Tua with a bad defense because it's been bad.
The O-line last year was bad.
It wasn't good. It was pretty average.
And it got worse. They have holes on O-line. We're talking about before the draft.
In the year before, not last year that just played, but the year before, their O-line was bad. And what they do, they went out there and won 10 games and made the playoffs. We've seen that. With those same scenarios that you're saying. We never seen the Jets in no scenario. We're going off shits and giggles, excuse my language, but we've actually seen the evidence of all these other teams except for this one. We're making magical exceptions for this one team. We've seen all the other teams actually do it and then get better. We never seen the Jets do it and get better.
The circumstances for Tua have got even worse, right? And then when the circumstances were bad, what happened? He was injury prone. So like we talking about injury risk with any other,
and they still won 10 games.
Yes, but the team's not good. The Jets had no one at quarterback. No one. They had no one. I'm sorry. The Jets had no one at quarterback.
They had one last year, and what happened behind a bad O-line?
My only thing right now is positionally.
They didn't have bad O-line last year. They didn't have bad O-line last year.
The Jets had a bad O-line last year. What happened with their bad O-line?
I'm talking about the Dolphins.
What I'm saying, we seen Tua behind a bad O-line get injured and concussed and all that, and they won 10 games. We seen Aaron Rodgers for a snap behind a bad offensive line and be out for the year.
My only thing is, like, besides the receiver position and head coach, what position group does Miami have that's better than the Jets?
They didn't win 10 games. They didn't win 10 games in 2022.
What they won? They won 9-8 and made the playoffs?
Yes. Barely.
Excuse me. 10-9. The result was the same. They made the playoffs.
That's a big difference. It's a big difference.
No, it's not.
Position groups. We just talked about it. Yes, because 10 games could put you at a 6 seed. 9 games you're out of the playoffs.
That year, 10 games and 9 games, me messing up one game did not change the fact that they made the playoffs.
So, but position groups. Position groups.
I'm about to get there. Same reason as last year. None. What happened?
They had quarterback last year. They had quarterback
last year. They had Christian Wilkins. Last year they had a better secondary than they do now. Last year they had a better O-line than they do now.
Ooh.
Like the Dolphins lost a lot. The Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, not in the secondary. In the secondary, they actually added. They actually got better in the secondary. A lot better. They miss out. They're bad on the D line, but they will also always had a worse D line than the Jets. That's always been a thing. But they have the better receivers.
Their D line is going to be bad for a while until they get the injury.
Yeah, because Bradley Chubb's coming off injury. Jalen Phillips coming off injury. They don't have nobody up in the middle.
So
sure,
we know their D line is not going to be good for until they get their injuries.
Their defense is not going to be good.
We know their secondary is also not going to be good.
Their O-line,
their offensive line is also not going to be good.
Why do we know why do we know their secondary not going to be good? They get Javon Holland back. They signed Poyer. They got Kendall Fuller, and they got Jalen Ramsey, who basically made a Pro Bowl last year and was almost all-pro in the limited time that he played. Why do we know that it's going to be bad?
Because a part of your secondary being good is pressure. It is. That's one. Two,
and they did
Jalen Ramsey, their secondary wasn't good last year.
Yeah. Their defense as a whole wasn't good last year. I'm lying?
No, it wasn't.
What happened?
They made the playoffs, yes. But that doesn't mean
they can make the defense with a. We know they can.
That doesn't mean that's going to happen every year, bro.
We do not know what the Jets are going to do for you. We do not know the Jets can get to the playoffs. We don't know that. We don't know that. We don't have no evidence for that.
I
We at least have
don't
evidence
understand how we know that.
Projecting that.
I don't understand how we know that about other teams too. It's like the same way we're projecting about other teams.
But all the teams that we see up there are basically the teams that made the playoffs last year, except for one that we're grasping at straws for based off evidence that we never seen. So if you want to do that, do that. But I'm not co-signing something I ain't never seen. I'm not doing that. I think that's just silly. But if y'all want, hitch your wagon to that, go ahead.
That's fine. I'll hitch my wagon today. I think that was a debate that just took too long. I think the Jaguars, could all these teams make the playoffs? Sure, but it's they can't numbers wise, but they have a chance. I think the Jets' chance are just as good as the Dolphins' chance.
Falcons.
Yeah, they're gonna win the division. How many? I wasn't even planning on doing it. Seven AFC teams, 7 NFC teams. I wasn't planning on doing it like that. I wasn't planning on doing it like that from the get go because all these teams have a shot to make a playoff team.
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have to either.
Do it like that. That's what I would do.
I wasn't doing it like that because
that's my issue. This is my issue. I don't think some of these teams are on the same tier with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Who is not on the same tier with each other?
Are we the Bills? The Bengals are not on the same tier as the Jets. Are not on the same tier as the Packers.
How come they're not? How come the Bills?
The Jets are not on the same tier as those teams, bro. That's just that's not possible, bro.
You didn't hear what I said. So how come the Bengals are not on the same tier as the Packers?
I just think their ceiling's a lot higher.
How come the Bengals aren't? How? Based on what?
They're in the Packers are in the NFC and basically was a throwaway from making the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. So what are we talking about, Max? I'm asking
the Bengals have.
I'm looking roster for roster, and I think the Bengals wipe.
That's fine, but
between who and who? Let's go. Let's go through this. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. If T. Higgins is your third best player that you can name off that roster, you're not really doing well.
Is Trey Hendrickson their best player?
Depends on. This is an offensive league. You rather go with the 1,000-yard receiver room,
receiver room, Bengals, running back room, Packers.
The receiver room is carried by one player. The Packers have the best young wide receiver core in the league.
I'm taking the Bengals every day and twice on Sunday.
They also got the better running back. They got the better offensive line.
Yeah, but they still lost people. Their offensive line is not some solid thing. They still lost people.
The Packers got better, bro, this year. And the Packers
got better with a top 10 offensive line with a 7th round tackle.
They lost. I lost 2 guys, I believe. I wasn't thinking of the Bills, but
they lost Runyon. They lost Runyon to the Giants. That's just about it.
We need to make some progress.
They didn't have Bakhtiari for 2 years.
They released an old guy who's been there.
Bakhtiari hasn't played in
progress. We need to make some progress. Can I get some names for teams? We keep arguing about the same stuff, bro. We need to make some progress. Young and upcoming, the Bears. Titans are mid.
The Vikings.
Are they young and upcoming?
Yeah. All their most important players are young.
Chargers.
But Tampa Bay is in meh. Chargers you could put in meh too. They have Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Colts is in young and up and coming.
Yeah, what are we talking about, Q? He has not been. Bakhtiari was literally on their team last year.
He played 1 game.
He played 11 the season before. You said he's been gone for 3 years.
What are we arguing?
He played a game in 2 years. If you want to play semantics, play semantics, bro. It doesn't make no difference. Bakhtiari ain't.
No, I'm just saying, I don't.
They had a top line. He was protected.
The Bengals and the Packers are 9 different tiers of teams, bro.
They're not at all.
If we want to talk about health concerns, Joe Burrow is injury prone.
Can barely play a season. You can't have a ceiling if your quarterback can't play. Damn, but I mean, it don't make no sense.
The Broncos are in number 1 pick attention. I think the Washington Commanders are also. The Washington Commanders are low-key also in number one pick contention for next year. Even if they get unless okay.
They
Giants
can't fight.
also.
They can't fight in
Jags
that
not
division.
Are the Jags not young and upcoming?
No,
No.
they're man.
They're not young and upcoming.
They don't have a lot of great young players. It's just Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne.
I
And
think
Tyson Campbell.
Seattle is still meh. I think Seattle is still meh.
I agree.
The Raiders should
number
be
one
first
pick
pick contention. Cardinals number one pick contention. Panthers
No.
number one pick
No.
contention.
I'll put the Cardinals in there.
What?
I'd put the Cardinals in there.
They're not going to be in a contention for the number one pick, bro. They weren't in a number. They weren't in
Kyler
the number one pick this year.
Kyler Murray won like 5 games last year.
Yeah, I know, but they lost. Who's your number one receiver on the team?
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Marv again, and I guess we're getting this, but this is where we can't think about the future. They also might trade the pick. That's like majority of mock drafts. I see people swapping 4 or 5 for people to trade up for a quarterback.
You watch, bro. You watch their coach like floor raise the entire season last year. They're not gonna be
coach good.
You're right.
Kyler good.
Say they don't. They didn't have a number one receiver last year. Kyler Murray won 5 games and beat those Eagles. Like he won 5 games and he only played like in the back half.
The Cardinals beat the Cowboys without
Kyler. Kyler didn't beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, I know, but they beat him without Kyler.
Steeler on man.
Yeah, that's cool. Unless you're trying to make a case for them being better than the Cowboys, that's a stupid case. But Kyler Murray won 5 games. This is a Kyler Murray conversation.
I'm just saying, I don't. Yeah,
that meant nothing to what I'm.
The Saints, but I'm just saying, like, I get they have like some promising things, but like roster wise, it is not like they are many pieces away. I think from being in a playoff.
But
they are not going to be. They're not going to be in the number one pick. They're not going to be number one pick.
If Kyler Murray only played half the games and won 5 games, if he played a whole season and won 7 or 8, he's literally met. That'd be right in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, they're not going to be. They're not going to be a contention for number one pick. They're not. Because you saw that coach floor raise. They were competing in games throughout the entire season last year, basically. So like, I don't know why
when they got their quarterback, they won games. Like as soon as their quarterback came back, they won games.
They're not gonna
like they got James Conner. Like I'm just thinking about other pieces on their team. It's like I think they could be They could be sellers in the trade deadline. If you get rid of Budda Baker, if you get rid of a piece of your team, people are gone.
That's thinking about the future too much. I feel like personally.
Yeah, I think you got to put that into it. If you're projecting for the season, it's the same thing you're talking about Aaron Rodgers, and I'm on your side about that. You don't know Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think they should be projected. Why are they projecting to sell the deadline though?
I didn't project at all. Based on the roster they have, Kyler Murray won 5 games with that roster.
I'm just saying, like it's the same thing with the Jets. We have not seen it. I agree with you. I think the Jets will be good.
I'm asking you, why are you projecting them? Why are you projecting them to be sellers at the deadline?
I don't think they're better. I don't think they're better than the San Fran. I don't think they're better than Seattle, and I don't think they're better than the Rams. So I think you're the worst in the division. Like, why would you not build piece around that? You're not going to contend for anything.
I mean, Seattle. I'm not gonna lie. If the Cardinals are better in Seattle, if the Cardinals are better in Seattle next year, I would not be surprised.
How many games did Seattle win? 8,
7 or 8.
Again, Kyler Murray played like 8 games, bro. He won 5 games.
Kyler Murray's one of my favorite
with the same exact roster. Saying. Don't take nothing away. There's nothing that got taken. The roster that he has right now won 5 games.
Rondale Moore got taken away.
Who is Rondale Moore for them?
Besides Michael Wilson, their only receiver. Yeah, I mean you got Trey McBride, and Michael Wilson, and you're probably gonna get a receiver. So I get that.
They won 5 games. You give him a whole season, whole off season. He's actually coming in not fresh off an injury. 5 games. He's the second best quarterback in the division. He can win 7, 8 games, and he'd be met. He'd be right in the middle of the pack in a playoff hunt.
All right.
That ain't no more.
Do y'all have any gripes with this? And I'm not gonna lie, one gripe is not enough to be mad at the whole tier list, to be honest. So I would Q got a gripe about the Jets, but outside of that, what anybody else?
With their schedule, just back to the Cardinals. With their schedule, I don't know if they're winning more than 5 games.
Okay, that's still not in contention for number one pick, bro.
Yeah, I guess the Raiders probably be worse. Broncos, Giants.
That's not contention for number one pick.
I just don't know if I'd say that's meh, but we don't really get a tier in between.
All right, that's it for that. That was 40 minutes of our episode for a tier list. But that always happens with our tier lists, though. To be honest,
I was gonna say about 20 minutes was Jets and Dolphins.
All right, next segment. My bad, I didn't do that. Next segment is ranking the top 10 quarterbacks ahead of the 2024-2025 season. So I think the best way to do this is we all say our 10, we all say our 9, we all say our 8, we all say our 7, we all say our 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then midway through, we like stop and deliberate on why a certain quarterback is where they at. That's cool?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I'll start off. My 10th best quarterback in the entire NFL is Dak Prescott.
Mine's Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Mine's Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Jalen Hurts is not on my list. Jalen Hurts is not on my list.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah. So I really
before we get into it, Q, I'm just gonna preface Dak is 11. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know how to get into it. It is literally just my I can't explain it. But
see,
I get the
and
stats.
look,
I get the stats. You can say what you want.
Look, before you go into
whatever.
No, I want you to, because I want people to just get away from this, but I want like real, actual conversation about what it is. I just feel this. So I want real conversation about it. I want like real, actual evidence, real proof to like validity to what it is. Because if it ain't none, then I can't respect the pick if you can't really explain why it is. If you can't explain it, then what am I? I can't really take that serious.
So for me, playoff stats, playoff performance does matter, and it'll get a little questionable once you get up to the top. Playoff does matter, and not being able to do well in the playoffs is one thing. I think some games he can pad stats. He's a great quarterback. He plays well in some good games. You look at some of these bad games that he did not play well at. The 3 losses didn't play amazing. Threw some picks, but went for a lot of yards against Green Bay. Like he performs in big games.
All right,
but
playoffs. That's your reasoning.
I just every year, Dak is like Tua, where he fills up the regular season stat sheet. We get in the playoffs where they normally have a great roster with the O line.
That's the reason.
Backs. To be honest, yes.
All right, real quick. Better roster, Eagles or Cowboys?
100% Eagles. They made the Super Bowl the one year.
All right.
Wait, better roster. Better roster today?
Eagles had a better roster than the Cowboys pretty much the last 4 years, but that's beside the point. That's it. Last 3.
Before injuries,
injuries
or after injuries. The Cowboys do always get hit with the injury bug.
Where are we going with this? Where are we going with this?
I'm saying you've seen Jalen Hurts be good in the playoffs one time. Every other time you've seen him not be good in the playoffs, or you haven't seen him in the playoffs. You also only seen Jalen Hurts be good in the regular season one time. Any other time you haven't seen him be good. You've seen him be good be bad more than you've seen him be good. You've seen Dak Prescott be way better than Jalen Hurts for a longer period of time, more times than not. So there's one run don't make you better.
How many playoff chances are we giving Dak? How many times are we giving Dak or the Cowboys, I guess, as a whole, an excuse about an injury or this? Like, they've got to get it done one time.
Dak's been in the 4 times that Dak Prescott's been, 5 times that Dak Prescott's been to the playoffs, he's been bad. 2.5 of them.
2.5. What's your half? The Packers game or no?
The 2 games against the Niners, and I'm gonna give them half the Packers game because that was a lot on the defense too. It wasn't all Dak.
I agree.
Dak was fixed early,
I agree.
That was a half and half.
Jordan
other time, but he's been good just as good as he's been in the playoffs as he's just been bad. He's not been a bad playoff performer in totality. He has very good playoff games. Outside of those 2 Niners games, he's been pretty much a very good, quarterback in the playoffs. Like, that's just undeniable. Like, the 2 Niners games makes everybody screw what they think about him, but he's been pretty, fine in the playoffs outside of those 2 games. So
Only thing I'll say is I don't think Jalen Hurts was bad last year. I think he was good. He just wasn't great like he was two years before.
You know what I mean? I wasn't saying he was like ass.
The team got worse.
Jalen Hurts not on my list, so I really don't care to have a debate. Dak Prescott's better than Jalen Hurts. He is.
That's what I'm saying. That's not
Dak last year. Dak elevated a worse situation last year. Like, he did. I'm sorry, he did. Like, he literally did.
We can't compare. I don't like acting like he has nothing. That makes no sense.
He has CD. He has CD, and that's basically it on offense. I'm not gonna lie.
CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and let's now you can name whatever Pro Bowl running back you want to put behind the Eagles on top of the best O-line in the league.
Tony
Chris
Pollard,
McCaffrey, Debo, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle.
Yeah, Tony Pollard's not a good runner.
Tony Pollard regressed last season. Michael Gallup was a shell of himself. Brandon Cooks was not good. So yes, he elevated a way worse situation. So we can move on. Number 9.
Just talking about. I'm saying like in years past, he has Zeke, he has CD, he had,
and he's been better than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts been better than 1 year.
But what happened? That's what I'm saying. Like what happened?
Jalen Hurts been better. Jalen Hurts has been better than one time, bro. Jalen Hurts has been better than one time, Max. One time, ever.
I get it. Understand. Fine.
So what are we talking about?
But like I'm just saying, like what? Dak Prescott got drafted in 2016.
That doesn't matter. No, listen. Since Jalen Hurts has been in the league, Dak Prescott has been better than him every single year but one. What's your argument? What's your debate?
So 1 in 3 years, right?
No, it's not 1 in 4.
He didn't. Jalen Hurts been in the league for 4 years.
Yeah, and I still think making it to the Super Bowl, great team or not, Dak's had good teams and he hasn't got it done. Like I think making it to the Super Bowl is huge. Being within a play away from winning the Super Bowl is huge.
One time, bro. One time. It happened
one time. Yourself, it wasn't bad last year. Like if I'm like nitpicking everything and like being really close.
And Dak was way better than him. Dak was way better than him, bro. Dak was way better than him.
Like clear.
He was, and I'm not gonna lie. Even though they were coming back from down, he was better than him in the playoffs too. He was. So I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what your argument is.
There isn't none. Again, that's what I just want to get out there until we can move on because it just don't make no sense.
All right.
But we can move on to 9.
Please. At 9, I have Kirk Cousins.
I got Kirk too.
You got Kirk at 9?
Yeah.
Did you have Dak Prescott at 10 or you got Jalen Hurts?
No, I had Jalen Hurts at 10.
Okay.
Matthew Stafford.
Okay. At number 8, I got Jordan Love.
This is why I have Dak.
Kirk.
Okay. At number 7, I got CJ Stroud.
Same. And this
Love.
Before I want to put an asterisk right here. This is not because I think CJ Stroud's a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. I'm factoring in contract and age, and why I'm doing that right here. But for CJ Stroud, other than that, I'd had Dak Prescott ahead. But for right now, I'm gonna just put CJ just for all the other things.
I just think CJ Stroud was better last year, and he'd be better. I think CJ Stroud was better last year. I think he'd be better this year too.
CJ Stroud was better than Dak Prescott last year?
For in totality, is what I'm saying. So like, yeah, obviously, Dak was better in the regular season, but like in the playoffs, and then when we talk about like floor raising or ceiling raising or however you want to say it, I think I value what CJ Stroud did more than what Dak Prescott did. But as far as like numbers, Dak Prescott was an MVP candidate. But when we got to the playoffs, I believe that CJ was better, and the playoffs do matter more, as we always say. So that's why I got him over him. I think I think he could put up similar numbers to Dak, and with CeeDee Lamb, with I'm not saying
with nobody else. Look, you have to stop. You have to stop.
I did have to stop
because you realize you about to say something that ain't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, no. I had to stop because that's it. Like I said earlier,
I ain't shitting on CJ Stroud. One, we get division, but
yeah, way worse.
I'm about to get there.
Okay.
Although, you feel me? His weapons weren't like his one weapon. Like he didn't have one weapon as good as CeeDee Lamb, but he had good enough weapons around. But outside of injury, before Tank Dell went down, defense wasn't all the way there, but the defense was good enough. Especially for that division, the AFC South was literally bad. It came down to the last game. Like the Colts could have been in there, just ahead. You know what I'm saying? So like, I understand what you're saying. Like I said, he didn't play better than Dak Prescott by any stretch, like in totality. But for the other reasons, like age, him development going to second year contract and whatnot, I'm gonna just give him that nod.
What he did against the Browns was moving.
No, yeah, he chopped him. Chopped him. He did his thing.
Played well against. He outplayed Joe Burrow. He went against the Ravens, one of the best teams in the league. So that's what I said. I got him over. I got CJ Stroud at 7. Who y'all 7? I don't know if y'all said it.
Sorry, 1 sec. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I said I had CJ Stroud, but just only because for the other, like not because of play, but for other thing, like everything else. So CJ Stroud would be my 7.
My 7 was Jordan Love.
My number 6 is Matthew Stafford.
Same.
CJ.
So you had Matthew Stafford at 9. I don't know. Matthew Stafford was amazing last year. He was amazing in the playoff game.
I kind of wish I put Stafford over Kirk. I wish I put Stafford over Kirk.
So I don't know.
I wish I put Stafford 8. I wish I put Stafford 8, Kirk 9.
Matthew Stafford was like a borderline top 5 quarterback before he got injured, and so the only reason why he wasn't that high because he got injured. Like he was coming off a Super Bowl run in 2021, got injured in 2022. Last year came back, had an amazing season. Also, if I'm not mistaken, the offensive line wasn't great.
Offensive line was a patchwork. They had basically Puka Nacua for half the games because Cooper Kupp was dealing with injury as usual.
Yep.
Defense wasn't as good. They was relying on Aaron Donald to do a lot of the work. And he tried, but you know what I'm saying? A lot of things just wasn't shaking up. Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford were amazing last year.
Yeah. So that's
again, I think Cooper, Puka, Sean McVay helped Matthew Stafford out a lot. Their defense was a lot better than expected.
Cooper ain't helped him out last year.
He was injured.
It wasn't really
that he didn't help him out in the.
Their defense was not a lot better than the defense was not a lot better than expected. I don't know.
Better than expected. What are we talking about?
You said I don't know about that.
I feel like
Ernest Jones was good. Kobe Turner was good, but the defense as a whole wasn't great.
I thought their unit was going to be like bottom 3 in the league. They had nobody going into last year, and they were better than that at least.
All right, so my number 5. At number 5, I got Justin Herbert.
Same.
Herbert.
I think we might have the same top 5. But again, number 4, I got Joe Burrow.
Same.
Burrow.
At number 3, I got Lamar Jackson.
Lamar.
Same.
At number 2, I have Josh Allen.
Patrick Mahomes.
And number 1, I got Pat Mahomes. So
Josh Allen.
I knew.
Stop playing.
Top 5 is top 5. Top 5 is like the same names. And
I also don't think I don't think Joe Burrow is better than Justin Herbert as a player, like as a quarterback.
I
just think he's been in better situations.
If you give me one Justin Herbert, good Justin Herbert season, I will catapult him into top 3. Been saying this for years now. So
no,
if you put him in a good situation, if he gets a good situation, doesn't do well, whatever. I guess he's
the top 3 quarterbacks. The top 3 quarterbacks are able to elevate this situation a lot more than what Justin Herbert has been able to do.
Like I said, Justin Herbert's been my favorite quarterback for how long, Latif? We've talked about this forever. My top 3 quarterbacks. That don't mean
I don't think he's top 3. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying
if he has a good year, I will come out with a narrative where he's top 3. My top 3 have been Kyler, Stafford, and Herbert. Those have been my top 3 favorite quarterbacks.
I just personally can't trust your narrative, bro, because I don't understand your rationale or anything that you.
To be honest,
it's been more biased than actual concrete evidence arguments.
It's just the idea that like you can put up whatever stats, you can put up amazing stats, and you can blame other parts of the game. But if you just can't win the game, that's all that matters. Like Mahomes does not put up great stats in every game. He doesn't put up just all these amazing throws, but he can win football games. And if you throw
so Brock Purdy is a top 5 quarterback?
No. He has not.
All right, let's move on.
He has not looked good in all these games. That was a weird argument. He's not looked good in all these games, and they've not won.
Let's move on.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Let's go down a rabbit hole. Next topic is every NBA playoff team. That says team. My bad. I meant NBA playoff team. So every NBA playoff team X factor. So we're gonna be counting the play-in teams as well.
Can we just go East 1 to 10 and then West 1 to 10?
That's what we're gonna be doing. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Let's start off with the East. The Celtics. Who are the X factor for the playoffs this season?
Jason Tatum. I feel like whatever.
Sorry.
I feel like whatever. That's a good answer though. I feel like whatever happens like around the team. It's like everybody else can play great. If Jason Tatum doesn't show up, then they're just not going to win. So like no matter you could say Kristaps for what it does for the defense and the offense and whatnot. If Jason Tatum don't show up, the team's not gonna win.
I 100% agree with you. I think this is one. I know we talked about it before. Latif was like, it shouldn't always be someone's best player, and I agree. But this is one where Tatum has not shown up before in the playoffs, and they lose, and you need Jason Tatum to show up. So he has to be an S back. You know what I mean? He has to. It's like there's no if and or their buts. Like this is the year he has to. I say Kristaps. Kristaps playing at an elite level, offensively and defensively, significantly raises their ceiling. Especially against everybody else. When Kristaps can play at his best, it helps out the team so much better.
The Celtics are like great without Kristaps this season. I'm not gonna lie. The fate of the Celtics season lies on Jason Tatum. His value is in the playoffs. And you look at his on and off numbers, they're still a great team in the regular season without him on the floor. When you go to the playoffs, it's a completely different thing. They need him to be great in order to win the championship. If he is not, they will not win. They have no chance to beat the Nuggets unless Jason Tatum is a tier 1 NBA player. So he is definitely the X factor this season for me. Next team is the 2 seed and is the Bucks.
Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Score. Oh, sorry. Yep.
Now I'm about to say it's Damian Lillard, but I feel like it's for like other things than like not like basketball related, but not basketball related. Like the whole NBA world feel like Dame deserves this. Like he deserves a chance to go win a chip. He deserves whatever he had to deal with in Portland, bad owner. Well, not bad owner, but like incompetent like GM and bad team construction, which a lot of great players have to go through. They just suffer through it, without all the everybody pandering, trying to, get them help and whatnot. Dame's not a great playoff performer. Outside of round one, he's not good. And yeah, you could, for me, everybody's arguing be like, oh, he was the main guy. He's a small guard and whatnot. He need help, take the load off and whatnot. He has the help now. Like now he's the second best player. He's seeing the second best defender. Like, for me, he should be able to do those Herculean effort type things, give you 30 against your second best defender. And that's what they thought they were getting this year, and they haven't gotten that. But for them to, feel like they would, did good trading away Drew Holiday, thinking like that was going to keep Giannis around, and if they have a chance to actually compete, Dame has to be All-NBA Dame from last year, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. That he has to be that guy. He has to be 30 points per game. He has to be that specific person. We haven't seen it yet. That's the only way this team is ever going to do anything because they let go of their best perimeter defender, their point of attack defender. And you've seen that they did it because their defense has been bad. So you have to be able to offset that bad defense with great offense, and that's what they were thought they were getting with Dame Lillard. So he has to show up no matter what.
I agree. I think if Dame scores 30, 35 a game, which is crazy, but for Dame it's realistic, this team is easily in Eastern Conference Finals, can compete with Boston.
Again, we all have the same one. My X factor is Damian Lillard. They are 28-6 when he scores 25 plus. So they're a great team. I think he drops 30. They're 17-2.
Yeah, I'm about to say when it's 30, it's like 17-1, 17-2, something like that.
So they're pretty much
playoffs.
So
they pretty much unbeatable when Dame actually plays to his capability. So it's obviously Damian Lillard. For the Cavs, I'll go first. The Cavs X factor this playoffs is Isaac Okoro. They need him to be knocking down his 3-point jump shots for him to be able to stay on the floor in the playoffs. The reason he didn't get burned last playoffs is because he could not hit shots. He's been an elite defender on the perimeter this year. And so for him to be effective in a playoff series, he needs to be hitting shots. That was one of the biggest problems for the Cavs last year against the Knicks. Their spacing was terrible. And so they needed him to be able to make open threes. And he's been doing that this year while providing elite defense. Isaac Okoro is the Cavs X factor this season in the playoffs.
I think the Cavs X factor is that whole front court section, whoever's out there from 3 to 5. Last year they got bullied, tossed around by the Knicks. I don't think based on the matchup they're going to be able to face the Knicks this year, so that shouldn't be an issue. They will see Indiana. That should be an easy thing. But last year their front court got utterly, outplayed between Mobley and Jared Allen. The Bryce was too light and whatnot. Isaac Okoro, if he's at the 3, technically he's part of that front court, so he also has to be able to balance between guarding that best perimeter player and shooting that corner 3. Evan Mobley has to give out some type of offense. Jared Allen just has to be do what he's been doing all season, and they should be fine.
I said specifically Evan Mobley. If he can lock up a team's best front court player all night. It's obviously beneficial, whether it's Giannis, whether it's Jason Tatum. So I think at least in the playoffs, everyone's going to start locking up more, and you need Evan Mobley to do that on a night-to-night basis.
You said Evan Mobley? That's not a bad. That's not a bad one. All right, next team is the Knicks.
This is Julius Randle, and I like to give like people chances, and not like because like I believe in everybody, but I think like situations matter. Julius Randle's first playoff run, he was the best player, and if Julius Randle's your best player, think odds are things aren't going to happen. The very next time he was in the playoffs, he walked into the playoffs, seemingly the same way this year. He went into the playoffs hurt. So, like, part of his bad play had, him coming back from injury. He's stepping into that same situation again, but he's stepping into that situation with a better team. And now he's seeing different coverages. He's seeing, there's a different thing around him. There should be more space between DiVincenzo going crazy, OG out there. If he's out there being able to space, I think Julius Randle, when he comes back, should be the X factor, because if he's playing how he plays in the regular season, this team should at least be a second round team.
I went similarly with last pick. I said OG. If you can get an elite 3-and-D option, if he is healthy enough to play in the playoffs, obviously it does wonders for your team. You have DiVincenzo, you have Josh Hart, other guys who are performing really well in his absence. But I think OG needs to be that elite 3-and-D option. Take the pressure off of Randall and Brunson. And I think that they could win a couple series.
The next X factor is Julius Randle. He has been playing well in the playoffs in his career. And if they're looking to actually make the ECF, which I think there is a ceiling, they're going to need him to do it. I don't think they're going to be able to make it to the ECF this year unless Randle is playing well. We can move on to the Magic at the 5th seed. Who is the Magic's X factor?
I'm not going to lie. I didn't know. I just said Jalen Suggs. Paolo, you could say Franz is second help. I think this team is similar to the Cavs last year. Played well, but I think they'll get beat by an experienced team. So I guess when you look at all the top teams, they have good guards. If Jalen Suggs can prevent the good guards from having great nights, I'll take that.
With the Magic, with this team is young, so like we don't really expect them to do anything. So like having an X factor for a team with no real like expectations is kind of like counterintuitive. But for all intents and purposes, to pick a player, it would have to be Franz, because he was supposed to make elite. He's up for an extension. Possibly he has not been able to shoot the 3 this year. And with a team that's already not great at spacing, for Paolo to really flourish, he needs as much space as possible. And Franz has to be able to hit the outside shot for things to really look good. So that guy could step out a little bit more and let Paolo operate if they're going to have a chance to knock off whoever they face in the first round, whether it be Cleveland, if they have a chance against Cleveland, or another team. We just don't know.
My X factor is Franz Wagner. His 3-point shot has completely went away this season. He's been actually terrible. And so they're going to need him to step up in the playoffs, provide spacing for the Magic. So he's definitely the X factor for the Magic. Let's move on. The Pacers, who are the X factor? I'll start. It's Tyrese Halliburton. He's been terrible for the last 3-4 months. And so for them to have any type of chance, they're going to need him to play well, actually get back to form. Pascal has actually been good since he got traded. And so he needs his some help on that end. So Tyrese Halliburton is my X factor for the Pacers.
I've been rethinking this one a lot. I originally had Pascal, but I will go Tyrese as well. Just for the fact it was before Pascal, but they were playing amazing basketball when Tyrese was playing the way he was at the start of the year. If he can facilitate, if he can be that second option to Pascal, it'll do wonders for them, obviously.
Yeah, it has to be Tyrese. He's supposed to be their best player. Supposed to be the engine of this offense. For this team to, they don't play no defense. So for this team to win games, they're going to have to outscore people. And it starts with Tyrese. He has to go out there and give you 20 and 12 every night for them to be successful. Pascal has been good, but Pascal being good doesn't really do much for the team, because you need Tyrese to make everybody else be better, because Pascal, that's not his job. He's just good on his own. Tyrese Halliburton has to be able to do his thing and unlock everybody else on that team. So if he's not doing that, they don't really have no fight, no real chance to win.
All right, next team is going to be, I believe, the Miami Heat with the 6th seed. their X factor is Terry Rozier. I mean, they traded for him at the deadline, and they need him to play better than what he's been playing. They needed scoring in last year's finals and in the playoff run, and so they need him to provide that after losing some of their most impactful players in last year's run. So the Miami Heat's X factor this season or in the playoffs is going to be what's his name? Terry Rozier.
I utter the same sentiments, but it's like I know it's like we're supposed to be picking on play, but it's their backcourt in general between Terry and Tyler Hero. They have to be able to score consistently in the playoffs because they're going to be counted on, especially because you need Jimmy. If Jimmy can just focus on, picking his spots on offense and just, playing defense, that make this team much better. Because going into a series with Jimmy, your best offensive option, not that he can't, do it, but I don't think that's where he's best suited. I feel like all like the, quarter 1 through 3, just the steady play-by-play. I think you should be able to get a lot out of Terry and Tyler based on what you did. You paid Tyler and you traded for Terry, for what they do. Terry was a 20-point per game scorer basically for Charlotte. Hero was a 25 points per game before he went down. That was enough that, you could feel like Jimmy Butler will have enough energy come playoff time to do a lot more. And that's what they need him to do. That's the only way they're going to really survive.
I picked playoff Jimmy. We've seen what he could do in the past. If playoff Jimmy can turn to playoff Jimmy, all bets are off. I'm being honest.
Crazy.
Like I mean, it's what it is. He's done it twice now, ish. I know his last round wasn't amazing, but still played well at times. But they don't have the team to back him up now, so he has to carry. He has to carry the load. I think this ride for sure. You have Terry Rozier, but front court wise, you don't have the depth you had last year. So.
All right, next team is the 76ers. I think we all going to say Joel Embiid, especially with his health. He's an X factor for them in this playoffs. If he can come back, which he did come back tonight, I think right now, it was just halftime a few minutes ago. He had 12 points on like 4-9 shooting. If Joel Embiid can come back and actually be great, they can knock off the Bucks. And if they get the AC, we don't know. So, yeah.
Same thing as Joel Embiid. I'm looking at the standings. If Miami slips, if they lose 2 games and Philly wins this game tonight and they win another game, they move up to 7, it might be quiet for Milwaukee. I know it was a long time ago. It was the first game of the season, but Milwaukee and Philly went down to the last, 10 seconds of the game, and the Bucks defense ain't getting no better. And if anything, Tyrese Maxey's a much better player now than he was game 1 of this year. So that's a lot to go into. And with Joel Embiid, Buddy Hield might be, activated. He hasn't been the best, but Buddy Hield in the playoffs with Joel Embiid, garnering a lot of attention, he might just be able to shoot Milwaukee out the gym.
I said Tyrese. Maybe I'm guaranteeing Embiid's going to be Embiid. I get the injury. I get the playoff, whatever. But the second option has never been the guy with Embiid. So if Tyrese can finally take that over, do what Harden couldn't do last year, do what Ben Simmons couldn't do in the years prior. If Tyrese can finally be that second option, I guess guaranteeing or saying that Embiid's going to be Embiid, I think that just lifts their ceiling to pass the ECF.
All right, we got the 2 play-in teams. We can just go ahead and speed through this for the play-in teams. Kobe White. I got Kobe White for the Bulls, and I have the Hawks. Trae Young for health. I don't even know if he's coming back, but that's what I got for the
Hawks. Trae Young. Too. The only way they win a game is Trae Young. The Bulls, I put fine God because I don't even know what they're going to do at this point in
time. Kobe and DeJounte. Trae Young ain't coming back. But DeJounte, DeJounte, since he's been out, been king of the fourth quarter. He been wild.
80 shots a game. 80 shots a game, drops 35. It is crazy.
Ain't nobody care when Kobe did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's move on to the Western Conference. The Thunder right now are currently the 1 seed. For the Thunder, I have Lou Dort. They're gonna need him to be able to knock down his 3-ball, guard the opposing team's best perimeter player. He is an X factor for me.
I said Chet. Chet's got to be that too. When J-Dub can ball when he has to, but Chet needs to be the 2-way guy he's meant to be. Yeah, that's about it. Obviously, the rebounding needs to get much better, but Chet needs to lock in offense and defense. A lot of good bigs in the West.
It has to be. I think it has to be Lou Dort for the same reason you uttered. He's also, this year he's been getting left wide open on purpose. And to his credit, he's shooting 40% from three. He has to be able to do that in the playoffs. If he's able to do that in the playoffs, eventually they're gonna have to step out there, and that just opens it up a lot more. But J-Dub, who likes to operate in the mid range and whatnot, Shea, who likes to operate in the mid range, it also allows for like just in case they decide that they need Josh Giddey on the court for any reason in the playoffs, you need as much space as possible because he's not gonna be able to do anything if he can't get into the paint.
Next team is the Denver Nuggets. I got Michael Porter Jr. as the X factor. He's been insane from three this season. If his defense can elevate like he did last playoffs, they're gonna need him to be a good defender and a good 3-point shooter. If he's not knocking down his three like last year, they can be susceptible to losses. So they're gonna need him to be great this postseason for them to be good.
I think it's Jamal Murray, and I know that sounds crazy because Jamal Murray is looked at as this great playoff performer, but he is injured, dealing with some things. I don't know how that's gonna fare him coming back into the playoffs. High pressure situation. First round, they're gonna have a pretty tough matchup. They might still be able to get out, but like there's no slouch facing Phoenix, LA, Sacramento, or the Warriors. Like it's still those tough matches based on the players that's in those series. And Jamal Murray, fresh off, coming off whatever he's coming off of ramping up, I think it's gonna be hard for him to replicate that. So if he's not playoff Jamal Murray, I think it's gonna be harder for this Nuggets team to win.
I had Jamal and someone else, but I kind of thought about it, and you got to give Jamal the respect. He's been a playoff performer the past couple of times, so I'm going to give him that. Aaron Gordon is my X factor. The defense that he had last year was huge. Defending LeBron, defending Durant, defending Booker when he came to the paint, huge. He has to do that again. Again, there are like forwards, wings, very good forwards and wings in the West, and I mean, I don't know who else is really picking him up besides maybe KCP or Christian Braun when he comes off the bench. MPJ's defense, I guess, but I think Aaron Gordon needs to be that primary defender in the post, like how he was last year. And I think they make another run.
Who are your X factor for the Minnesota Timberwolves?
That is a to be determined based on if Cat is playing or not. If Cat is back, my X factor is Cat. He's gonna have to be able to make sure he's settled into this role, which he did this whole year. But he has to be able to make shots, especially when he gets his opportunities, because a lot of the attention is going to be on Ant. For that same sentiment, I also feel like it has to be Jaden McDaniels, because for Jaden McDaniels to be, worth what he got paid, he has to be able to, play that elite defense, but also provide them something on offense, especially in those mid-range where he likes to get to. He has to at least, force the defense to worry about him for like this team to really reach their potential.
Cat is my X factor too. He hasn't been a good playoff performer in his career, and for them to get to like a WCF, they're going to need him to perform, especially in this deep West. I think Anthony Edwards is not ready to be that sole number one driving force. To like actually propel them to like WCF potential. So they're going to need Cat. They're going to need Rudy to be playable in the playoffs. They're going to need a combination of stuff to actually reach their full potential. They're not the most experienced playoff team. They're not the oldest team. So they're going to need their star players to be star players. I think Max stepped out for a second, so I don't know if he's here for okay.
I just got back. Sorry. My pick is similar with Boston. It's Anthony Edwards. It's similar with Jason Tatum. Edwards has seemed a little inconsistent at times. He was good last year, though. He was in the one playoff series last year. He was good. I'm not going to lie. I don't have confidence in Cat to solo an entire playoff series. So if Anthony Edwards can play at his top level, I think they definitely have a chance to make some noise.
Next team is
the Clippers.
Kawhi.
X factor.
Kawhi.
Excuse me.
Kawhi. I'm sorry. I had to say this one. We've seen what happens when Kawhi is the number one player on his team. We see what happens when Pete Kawhi is playing basketball. When healthy Kawhi plays, which hasn't been for a long time, I put them against anybody. If it's a healthy Clippers team, I'll put them against anybody in either conference. PG just has to be PG. Harden has to do his thing, but Kawhi is your best player. Kawhi needs to play Kawhi.
I feel like the Clippers X factor is the medicals. Like I don't think it's just one, specific player.
That's fine.
But if I had to, make it a player, I'd say it's James Harden. Since the All-Star break, James Harden hasn't really been doing anything. You know what I'm saying? He's actually been worse. For them to, go anywhere, they need, James Harden to be who he is or what we think of James Harden, at least half of that. And other than that, they just got to be on the court. I think they're deep enough and they're coached well enough that they should be able to figure out anything else. If somebody's shooting bad or whatnot. Like Paul George started off the game 1-9 the other night, and he basically hit the dagger. Like they could, be bad for stretches and still figure it out because they're able to play defense and they have Kawhi. You know what I mean? For whatever that's worth.
All right. For my X factor, it's gonna be James Harden. They need him to show up. I'm sorry. They need him to show up. They need him to be that playmaker, that third scoring option. I don't think like Kawhi can propel them for so much, but he's getting older. He's injury prone. I don't think you want to put that stress on him. So you need Paul George, you need Harden to be those second and third options. You need them to play well because with how deep the West is, you're not going to make the finals. You're not getting past Denver unless James Harden is James Harden. I don't care what nobody say. So that is my X factor for the Clippers. Dallas. For Dallas, I got Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving hasn't been himself in the playoffs for a minute. And so for them to actually reach the WCF, obviously Luka got to play well. But again, Kyrie Irving got to be Kyrie Irving. I already don't know who else would it be, to be honest.
To be fair, Kyrie Irving's been playing very well. Like he's had an underrated season. He's playing very well. Like he's been fine. I don't think that they have a Kyrie problem or gonna have a Kyrie problem. I think their X factor is it's Derek Lively / Daniel Gafford. Like between those two, because they don't have the perimeter defense, but they have to make sure nothing goes to the rim. Like everything has to get stopped at the rim. Derek Lively has to be able to stay on the court. Same thing with Gafford. Like everything is revolve around what they do, how they rebound and whatnot, because they're gonna have to, outscore everybody based on, how their team is set up. And if they're not gonna get stopped, they got to at least, end, possessions with rebounds, and they have to stay on the court for that. They can't get into no foul trouble. Lively has had trouble, early on in the year, kind of middle of the year, just staying on the court, not fouling.
Mine's Luka. We saw what Luka could do without Kyrie. We saw what Luka could do without Kyrie. We saw Luka in the playoff series against Phoenix. If Luka can take over a game, he's the best offensive player in the league. Sorry. Luka can almost win games all by himself. So if Luka can do that, then I mean, I don't think they beat Denver.
Never seen Luka ain't never won a series by himself. You know what I'm saying? He ain't never won a series by himself.
You don't think he beat this? You don't think he beat the Suns team by himself?
That run was a lot of Jalen Brunson, also a lot of Spencer Dinwiddie. Like that was a lot. That was a very good team. Everybody chipped in. Luke was the best player, but Spencer showed up. Jalen Brunson showed up. That's why he got paid. DFS was there doing his thing.
I agree. Brunson was hooping.
Yeah, it's not like it wasn't just Luka going bananas. Luka barely played in the Utah series. That was Jalen Brunson that got him. That basically had that series. Basically,
Luka's a catalyst. If Luka's not playing like Luka, they're not going past the first round.
Well, we never seen that happen. It's not gonna happen.
What?
He's one of the best playoff performers in the league. That's never going to be a
good
thing. Next team, the Pelicans is Brandon Ingram. They've been treading water without him. Still been a pretty good team, but they need him to be back and in effect for the playoffs for them to actually reach the ceiling of the Western Conference Finals that they have. So I got Brandon Ingram for the Pelicans.
I just said Zion because I don't know what Zion we're gonna get. If we get good Zion or bad Zion, if we get athletic or non-athletic. I just said Zion.
It's Zion. We've seen like with this Pelicans team, not this same Pelicans team, but like pretty much the same Pelicans team. We've seen Brandon Ingram. He in the playoffs, he specifically performed well on it with this Pelicans roster. We literally haven't seen Zion with in the playoffs at all. So he's the biggest X factor because if he's their best player, it's gonna go with him. We know what Brandon Ingram could do with this team in the playoffs. We don't know what Zion could do, and we expect him to do numbers and be this guy. So it's Zion.
All right, next team is going to be the Suns. I got Bradley Beal. I mean, with all three of them healthy, they've been great in a limited sample size. I think it's like a 58, 59% or something like that. So I got Bradley Beal as being the X factor in the playoffs.
It is Bradley Beal. Devin Booker, his playoff career is not like he's a great playoff performer. Like he has a reputation of being bad in elimination games, but he did go nuclear last year. For all the Kevin Durant slander that's out there, Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. Like whatever you want to say, what it looked like, he's still probably gonna go into the playoffs averaging 25 plus on great efficiency. So you're not gonna really be able to blame him, but you can blame the injury prone guy who's like a couple notches below the top two guys, especially if he's getting paid that money and they give up a lot of things to go get you.
I agree. I have KD as well because I think KD at a ceiling could be that much. You know what I mean? KD could take you that far. But as far as Bradley being like, if he could be that third option, that's all that matters. Well, what's funny about that, Latif? What's funny about that?
I thought you were saying KD. I thought you were saying KD was X factor.
I think he can be. KD could be that one player who could put you over the top.
X factor generally
players in the league.
But that's not like the connotation of like what we use in X factor for. It's like
X factor
who's gonna make or break the team winning the series or not. It's not gonna be Kevin Durant because you expect Kevin Durant to do what he's doing. You expect Luka to do what he's doing. So who's that other guy that you're gonna
That's what I'm saying. I know, but they can do more. They can do more. Right. We've seen KD do more. We've seen Luka do more. They can do more.
I don't even know what that means.
So then, but if that preference, that means we shouldn't just do this. We should just name the best player off every team.
No, because not everyone's like that. Have we seen guys like? Have we seen anybody on the Knicks do more yet? Have we seen anybody on the Knicks do more? Like
we've seen Jalen Brunson. We've seen Jalen Brunson win a series by himself without Luka. We also seen him win a series.
But I don't think he's getting past the Titans of it. I don't think he's getting past the Titans of the East with just him hooping by himself.
But Luka also himself is not getting past.
Luka can get
he
past.
Never did that. We never seen him do that. We never seen him do that. But we don't know that.
All right. We're not getting caught up on this. Next team. I don't know. Next team is the Kings. I got Keegan Murray, especially with Malik Monk going down. They're gonna need him to step up actually and be that third star. He's gonna have to pull his weight even more than what he's been. He's been great this year, but somehow, some way, he's gonna have to get like some shot creation ability, something. If they have any chance of even making that a play-in. I don't think they are. I actually think they're not making playoffs this year, but I think Keegan Murray is the X factor for sure.
I have Keegan Murray as well.
I got Sabonis. Last time we seen Sabonis in the playoffs, he was out there looking scared. He has to, attempt shots outside the paint. You feel me? For them to actually do anything, because the way the Warriors had him last year, he looked like he did not belong there.
I mean, I see that point. So
and
next
bro was getting stomped on the chest and everything. He's the X factor. He gotta show up, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, last two teams we got the Lakers. I got D'Angelo Russell. They're gonna need D'Lo to be way better than he was last year in the playoffs. He's been amazing since he was inserted into the starting lineup. He is definitely the Lakers X factor this come playoff run. They know Austin Reeves probably gonna be good. They know AD, LeBron gonna do everything. They need D'Lo to be that fourth guy getting buckets.
It is D'Lo or Reeves. You can guarantee Reeves as much as you want. I think Reeves still has to cement that for one more playoff run.
There's no real evidence that Reeves is better than D'Lo.
That's fine, but he just showed that
in the playoffs.
He was a better option last year. And LeBron.
I'm saying in totality. In totality, D'Lo, like I would say, is a better player than Austin Reeves, but playoffs, Reeves
for me
more effective.
Reeves scoring is one. Is D'Lo shooting? If D'Lo can still hit it from three, that's huge.
What?
Who did you say? Austin Reeves? For yours, Q. Is it D'Lo?
No, I said D'Lo.
Okay. Last team is the Warriors. Down to Kuminga. Maybe you could say like Andrew Wiggins, something like that. But I think Kuminga has been.
Anybody who can help out Steph. Anyone who can help out Steph.
Yeah, I think that's going to be Kuminga though. I think that's going to be Kuminga.
It's
disgusting.
But
again, I don't think the Warriors or the Kings are making the playoffs. I think it's going to be the Lakers. So yeah,
you think the Suns? You think the Suns stay in the playing game, or who do you think moves down?
No, the Suns are going to beat the Kings, and then the Lakers are going to beat the Kings.
Yeah, I think in a one-game scenario, against De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, give me Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Like in a one-game scenario.
I agree. I'm not gonna lie. If it matches up this way too, I'm probably taking the Lakers over the Thunder. I'm not gonna lie.
Hopefully, I need the Thunder to make it out of the first round
Yeah.
for shade purposes and for a bet. So I kind of need that.
What's your bet?
I bet someone in the Discord $50 and the Thunder are making it out the first round. So
I don't know if we're making it out of the first round. Depending, we play. It's going to be youth versus experience.
Y'all,
Whoever they play
is going to be the Suns.
It's going to be the Suns.
They can be the Suns.
I'm just saying it's going to be the Suns. It's going to be the Lakers, or on some off chance the Warriors. I guess maybe the Kings.
I don't like KD and Book is KD and Book, but like, again, bro, they rest of their team. I'm just not like Grayson Allen is great, but like, they can't guard anybody. They're terrible.
Grayson Allen.
We beat the Suns this year though.
If Grayson Allen and Yusuf Nurkic are your third and fifth best player, you're not a great team. I don't even know why they was throwing around super team all last year because Bradley Beal gets paid a lot of money. Bradley Beal has not been a top 25 player in like 5 years, bro. And they was throwing around super team. This team was not good. But for a round against some young bucks, I don't know. I don't know. I gotta see it.
They're not losing to the Suns. The Suns just can't
guard anybody. I'm scared of the Lakers. I'm not really scared of the Suns. Maybe it's competitive by me.
I'm not either. All right. Okay. So that's that segment. Last two segments. All right. It's buying or selling NBA edition. I'm gonna give you guys a few names of teams. You guys are telling me, are you buying or selling their future? So, are you buying or selling these NBA teams' futures? The first team is the Grizzlies.
I'm buying crazy. They're gonna get a top 20 player back. They're gonna get a top five or top 7 point guard back. They're gonna have a top lottery pick that's most likely gonna slide right in and pause and fit right well within the team, whether that be DC, Modas, whoever it is, and they should be right back in contention. We've seen Ja Morant, factory take this team to a second seed, twice. No reason not to believe in them healthy.
Only issue is that front court center position. I don't know what you're going to do as far as defensively. But you still have Bane. You still have JJJ. You have Vince Williams who's look good. Gigi Jackson's look good. You get Ja back. You get a high pick that you maybe trade. Kennard's still there. You could address shooting. You could address defense on the front court or back front court. Yeah. They are easily.
That's crazy.
Easily buying
and nobody even said nothing about like Marcus Smart still on that team too. So like Marcus Smart probably gonna be like a seventh, eighth man. They're deep. You should buy into them.
I'm definitely buying into them. They're gonna have a top pick this year. Can add maybe like a Donovan Clingan. They got Vince Williams. They got Gigi Jackson, who has some super high potential. He's still like 19, 20. So y'all didn't talk about Gigi Jackson, I don't think. So yeah, they're.
I said Vince Williams, Gigi Jackson.
Okay, yep. Then they got a job back next year. They have a very bright future. I think they could be contenders in the West for years to come. Next team up is the Rockets.
The Rockets. I could buy into their future. They have probably the most athletic trio that we see in the league. Sengun to garage. Jalen Green's a little small sample size jump. Gives people a reason to bring him around and maybe thinking about giving him some money. Obviously, Fred VanVleet's not a long-term option, but you got Amen Thompson who showed flashes. If another season, he works on the jumper and whatnot. He could be a very stable force in this team. I think he should probably be starting next year. And they're in a playoff hunt now with another year in the development with Ime Udoka. They should probably make be in the plan and or make the playoffs next year. So they're pretty solid.
I'm buying a little bit of stock. I'm not going crazy. I'm really only buying stock because of Ahmed's potential, Sengun. Jalen Green has shown a lot in the past month or two, but I'm not buying I'm not buying into their future quite yet with it. But they still have a lot of young pieces. They still get a pick this year. So I will buy into their future right now.
I'm buying stock in the Rockets. I think the potential of their two best players reminds me a little bit of the Kings. I think De'Aaron Fox and Jalen Green have similar ceilings, but I think Jalen Green could even go a little bit higher than that. And I think Sabonis and Sengun, I think Sengun's potential is a little bit higher than that. The X factor for that team is Amen Thompson, and his ceiling is out of this world. And if he can tap into that, then they can be a contender in a few years, maybe 3 or 4. So I'm buying a little bit of stock in their ceiling. So that's what I'll end with. You made a face right there, Max. What?
I don't see the green fox. I don't know if I made a face. I was doing something, whatever. I don't know if I see the Fox screen comparisons, but whatever.
It wasn't a 1-to-1 comparison, and even if it was, I don't think it's that far off. I mean, like Jalen Green isn't that great of a 3-point shooter, and neither is De'Aaron Fox. They're both two of the fastest players in the league, two of the most athletic players in the league. They're scoring guard,
but their roles
they're
are
scoring
different.
guards.
De'Aaron's mid-range games are way better. He's way better at attacking the basket.
Am I crazy? But like,
I know what you're saying.
Jalen Green's 22. What are we talking about? Like,
but De'Aaron Fox had that already. Like
the mid range, yeah, and attacking
basket. De'Aaron
playmaker. Yeah, he's a way better playmaker.
Now he is, but he wasn't that like coming in.
No, he was also a way better playmaker. Like back then, also like when he came into the league as a playmaker, he was better than what Jalen Green is as a playmaker. That's like
De'Aaron Fox is a scoring guard to me. He's a
I see more. I see.
So was Donovan Mitchell, but he's also a better playmaker than Jalen Green. Like you could be a better playmaker,
of course,
scoring guard.
Of course,
yeah.
Of course.
Coming into the league, De'Aaron Fox was better at playmaking than what Jalen Green is now.
That's true.
Like at the same level, he was already better at those things. Is what I'm getting at. You feel me?
True.
So he has a long way to bridge the gap on those specific things.
Yeah, I don't know. De'Aaron Fox is more. He's an average playmaker right now, but I mean, Jalen Green is terrible at it. But next team is the Hawks. Are you buying or selling the Hawks' future?
I'm selling because I don't see the direction. Like they have a piece at all the positions, but I'm not sure if the pieces at those positions fit. And they don't really have the money or the capital to really go get better. So I'm pretty lost on what they're trying to do. If you can explain to me the avenue, then I'd buy into it more. But I can't spend my money on them.
Easy sell.
Yeah, the Hawks are easy sell. I have no idea what they're doing with their future. I don't know if they're gonna be keeping Trae Young, moving DeJounte Murray. They have a lot of work to do in that front office. So I'm selling that future. The last team, are you buying or selling the Pistons' future?
I'm holding.
Yes.
I'm holding. I'm not playing the game. I'm holding. It's easy because they have potential.
Here's the issue with Latif. Latif does not know how to be here. Latif either is going to be here or he's going to be here. He don't know how to be here. When he sees something, you feel me? He sees it for like either the worst or the best.
You're saying
so even if there's an avenue. Exactly. The Pistons have avenues and opportunities to get better. You feel me? But 100%. They just have to be able to, the execution part is what's important for them because they can get better. They just have to execute. If we're going to bank on all upside, everything is equal and they are, working towards the future, then yes, you hold on to that and see it for another year based on this free agency and what they do in the draft. Next year, then you really got to start saying something because you got to K got to get paid. You feel me? K got to get an extension. It doesn't look too bright, but we know there's an opportunity to get better. And you have a great young guard right there in your franchise. Like there's only so many opportunities you could, fail him before he, gets up out of there. And I don't think they just want to let him walk out the door.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Watch this.
Now listen. If I was in the stock market, bro, there's no way I'm holding this stock because it consistently keeps dropping and getting worse. Now, yes, they have avenues to get better, but let's be serious, bro. How confident are you in Troy Weaver, Monty Williams, and the Gore family to make this situation better? Because I'm not confident at all. They have pieces to develop them, but they've shown no sign of actually developing these pieces. Ivy got worse. Dorian got better, but he's still not a good player, to be honest. He's all right. He's an okay player. K has got better for sure. I have no trust in them to correctly develop a Sora Thompson. None at all. I have no trust. I have no trust in this organization. I have no trust in the front office, the coaching, none of them. I don't have trust in anybody. So I'm selling the stock. It's no reason to hold it. I don't know why we're holding it. They've been in the rebuild, the year 4, and they still haven't seen any progress. So no, I'm not holding on to stock that's took a terrible trajectory the whole entire time.
Damn, that take was so bad. You just kicked them out. No, I think this is a perfect team to hold stock on, but it's fine.
How is it a bad take?
Huh? I just think it's a perfect team to hold stock on. This is your team. Don't give up on your team. But it's whatever.
No,
It's cool.
I'm just saying.
You give up on teams. It's okay. I get it.
I'm not
You
giving
give
up
up on
on
your
the
teams
team.
when they do bad. It's okay.
I'm not giving up on the team, but we talking about the stock market. If I'm buying or selling their future, I'm selling it until they show me different. I'm not going to just be optimistic about a team that hasn't given me no reason to be optimistic. But
would you have bought or sold stock? Would you have bought or sold stock when the Thunder traded away Paul George? You would have sold it, wouldn't you?
But no, I'm buying it because they got hella first round picks. What are we talking about? And
Yes,
Sam Presti has a whole entire track record of building teams, bro.
I get
what are we talking about
in the years. But what are we talking about as that immediate season? No one thought they were going to be good. It was a long time hold. This is a long time hold.
This is a long term thing right now. We're not talking about the immediate next season, next year.
I know this is a long term hold. The Thunder were not going to. No one thought Shea was going to be this thing. No one thought CP3 was going to work out. Yeah, they got first round picks. They got 80 of them in 5 years, 10 years. Who cares? Everyone is holding on for the future. I think Duren can develop. I think you get a high pick this year. You could pick someone who could be a good role player. I think Cade can develop. Maybe they fire Troy Weaver. How do you know?
Bro,
who knows? It's your team, man. Have confidence.
What evidence have they shown me that they're willing to fire Troy Weaver or they're willing to move off Monty Williams? What evidence have they given me, bro?
You just gotta believe, man.
Have you heard me? Did you hear me?
I froze.
I basically just said everything I said in Discord. Like, of course they have avenues, but they have the front people in charge are terrible. So of course I'm not gonna believe in them. And Jalen Duren, like, bro, the only person I'm keeping on the team that I'm not willing to move off of is Kate Cunningham and Asor Thompson. Everybody else can go for sure. Like, for sure. Like, they get a good enough package, they can go. Jalen Duren is a great rebounder, a great finisher. He cannot do anything else on the court. He's supposed to take a playmaking jump, didn't do it. He cannot defend anyone to save his life. So again, he has amazing chemistry with Cade for sure, but that's really about it. That was the last scene. We can get on to these, wind down the episode. You think you'll flip your phone for the TikTok purposes, Q?
Oh, I got you.
Okay. Hold me closer in these trying times. Supposed to be mine.
Am I far enough back, Mr. TikTok?
You never far enough back. You'll be all up in the screen. Your face will be all up in the screen. But
I'm saying I get scolded. Am I far enough back? I'm asking you.
Yeah, it don't really matter for these type of videos. Google Slides.
Okay.
Let me get these in here. Come on. All right. I'm going to go. I don't matter who I go with first. All right. Guess the NBA team based on their starting lineups, 2K ratings. If you're watching the video, make sure you comment a guess before we say the name. I'll start with Max. What team is this?
Give me a sec. I'm looking at teams. I'm not looking up stuff. I'm looking at teams. Calm down.
I'm tired of people being on their phone. I'm really getting tired of this.
You can hate however you want. I'm looking at teams, so calm down.
I can't search now. I'm on my phone right now. Even then, I still don't be searching anything for real.
I know you ethical.
I feel like we ain't do this team already.
I hate when I do this, thinking I know the team, and it just does not make sense.
Can I take a guess?
I think it does make sense. I got it. Wait, hold on. Minnesota.
No, it's not Minnesota. It is not Minnesota.
All right, is it Cleveland?
It's Cleveland.
It is Cleveland. It is Cleveland.
Yeah.
No, so who's 80? Who's 87?
Evan Mobley.
Mobley.
Mobley's higher than DG?
Yes.
Yeah. He cleared defensive, like certain stats. Like
I thought DG was still at like an 88.
I don't think he's ever been at that. Let me turn on 2K to make sure I'm not tripping, but I'm pretty sure Darius Garland has also had a down season. He's not been good at all, so that could play a factor in it. Evan Mobley just been injured for most of the season, but yeah, that is the Cavs. Let me make sure that was the Cavs. I'm tripping.
2022, he was an 88. 2023 is an 87.
Look at my notes. Make sure that was the Cavs. It was the Cavs. Okay, cool. All right. Next team. Q, tell me what team this is based on their NBA 2K rating.
This can't. Damn. Yeah, that's bad. Center. Just say the Sixers, right?
It is not. It is not. Nope.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid is back, so he's actually on 2K in the rosters. He's not. Nope.
I gotta guess.
Go ahead.
Sacramento.
This is the Kings. Yes, it is the Kings. It is the Kings.
I feel like we did the Kings already.
I'm not gonna lie. It is kind of just. Who's the 74? Oh, Herter's out. Herter's out, isn't he?
Keon Ellis.
Yeah, Keon Ellis is the 74. Oh, I forgot to say the names for the last team. My bad. Hold on, let me do this real quick. The point guard is Darius Garland. The shooting guard is Donovan Mitchell. The small forward is Isaac Okoro. The power forward is Evan Mobley, and the center is Jared Allen. I forgot about that part of it. And then for the Kings, the point guard is obviously De'Aaron Fox. The shooting guard is Keon Ellis. The small forward is Keegan Murray. The power forward is the small forward is Harrison Barnes. The power forward is Keegan Murray, and the center is DeMontis Sabonis. All right, last team. Whoever want to guess can guess it. What team is this, y'all?
Is this the?
It's a 98 center, bro.
It's Denver or Philly. It's Denver. No,
It is not Denver.
It's Philly. Yeah, it's Philly. They're gonna have Tyrese at a shooting guard.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
At point guard is Kyle Lowry. At shooting guard is Tyrese Maxey. At a small forward is Tobias Harris. Or no, at the small forward is
Tobias Harris.
Kelly Oubre. No, small forward is Kelly Oubre. The power forward is Tobias Harris, and the center is Joel Embiid. So there's our trivia for the episode. That was probably one of the longer episodes we've had. If you guys have made it this far, thank you guys for watching the episode, and we are out.